Hi there. Today we're going to talk about how to start a partnership in West Virginia. This is both the online and the PDF application processes. It should be noted if you do decide to file online using the e-registration method, of course, you're going to need to file with also the State Tax Department and the Unemployment Compensation Division at the same time. Those filing domestic LPs will have to pay $100 for their filing fee, regardless of if you're filing online or by PDF. LLPs, domestic that is, will need to pay $250. Foreign LPs will have to pay $150, and foreign LLPs will pay $500. Now, this is by far the most expensive entity type. For whatever reason, they charge this. Not only do they charge $500, but every 2 years you're going to have to re-register and pay another $500. I'm not exactly sure why this is the case, but it is. Before registration, it's always a good idea to perform a business entity search. Ensure that the name you plan on using for your entity hasn't already been registered by another business in West Virginia. Also, name reservation is often very useful if you need extra time with which to file. That'll allow you to not be concerned with another entity maybe registering under your name, and it'll give you a 120-day window with which to prepare. And it costs $50 for a reservation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over how to file a domestic partnership online. I'll go through each step. Now it's pretty extensive because we're doing all 3 of those state departments in one sort of filing process. So for that reason, I'm not going to go over the foreign partnership one after because it's essentially the same. So the first thing you need to do is navigate to this webpage to log in. You're going to need an online account first. So if you don't have one, you can click here and you'll get a tutorial on how to create an online account. Once you're logged in, you should be able to see a page or a window that looks like this, and it'll have a drop-down menu, and the very top most option, the registered new business, I think it says, will be the one you want to click on. And once it's selected, click go. If you don't see this sort of drop-down menu, click on the filing cabinet option on the top left-hand side on that menu there, and you should be able to locate this on that page. First thing you're going to be answering is whether you're profit or a nonprofit or any one of these entities. Click profit. Here you're going to have to specify your activity category, and the next 3 pages are going to be pretty much answering that question as well. So you choose your NAICS code and subcode, click continue, and then if you want to be made public, you can select that here, and if it's representative of 100% of your business, then you can click yes. If not, you need to add a secondary or third filing or business activity, that is. And then for whatever reason, they also ask you to provide a description of the business activity here. Now, this is sort of the starting point, they call it, where you can choose whether you're domestic or foreign. In this particular case, we are domestic. You can check for exemptions if you need to register or not. That might be applicable for general partnerships, but if you're filing a domestic LP or LLP, you'll certainly need to register. And then the ownership and control, this is of course 2 or more individuals or parties. And you're going to get to choose your entity type on the next page. Answer yes or no to this question here if you're going to have employees working in West Virginia. If you are, your application process is going to be way longer because you're going to need to answer a lot of detailed questions posed by the Unemployment Compensation Division, I believe it's called. And if you don't, just click no, and then you're going to get sort of an easy ride. The next page will have a summary of what they call the basics, which is what they ask every entity. Just make sure you've answered everything correctly, and also let you know what you are to expect in the upcoming applications. When ready, click continue. Here you'll provide your business name. On the next page, you'll be able to register a trade name. And then they'll ask if you have a business identification number, either a federal employer identification number or a WV West Virginia number. If not, just click no. It's a good chance that you don't. You're going to need to apply for a federal employer identification number here. And then you're going to need to enter it into this space here when you are set. You're going to have to supply a bunch of different locations of offices. So that's the actual physical location in West Virginia, the mailing address for tax returns. You also need to provide the principal office address and the office where the names of partners are kept, and LLPs will need to provide a registered office also. And then next page, provide the name and address of the agent of process. Here's where you'll provide the general partner information. And then charter information for LLPs, the date in which the filing is to be effective. And then a description of the general character of the business in which the limited partnership engages. This is, of course, exclusively LPs. And then statement of registration provisions. This is just anything else you might want to include in your registration if you're an LLP. And then here you have to answer whether any of the owners of your business have previously owned or currently own a business in West Virginia. And select the option here that best describes your business. Now you're going to be answering questions categorized under operations and activities, so it's generally for like the state tax department. Provide the date which operations began, and then the gross revenue, sales or services. These are all just about special product sales and like business activities, stuff like that. So the next questions, you're just going to check off the boxes that apply. Provide the tax year end. And you can choose whether the partnership elects to be treated as a partnership. And then this is where they'll warn you that you are entering the questions for the unemployment compensation division. Click continue. Now for our tutorials, we decided not to relay that because generally we cover Secretary of State registration. So if you have decided to hire employees in the near future, you're going to have a lot more questions to answer that just aren't covered in this particular tutorial. If you don't, then this will all apply perfectly to you. These two questions, just where will payroll records be kept, and where should unemployment compensation payroll records be mailed. Then they'll ask you if you're a scrap metal dealer or a recycler, if the organization is veteran owned, and you can provide your company website if you have one. After this, you'll need to provide the signatures for the 3 departments or divisions. You can review all the information on the following page, and if it all seems all right, you click select payment option, and that's between credit card and ACH. You can calculate the fees and deposits, where you're just going to have a summary of what you can expect to pay here. And then finally, enter your billing information, your credit card info, and click pay. And that is how you register a partnership online. It's a pretty long process, but you're going to be registered with a bunch of, with the 3 departments there, which is pretty handy. To file by PDF, all you need to do is click this button here, and you're going to get access to, well, let's just go there, the Certificate of West Virginia Limited Partnership. And we have one of those for each necessary PDF. And it's essentially all the information that was required in the online application, but you're just going to submit it into this form. And once it's ready, you print it off, provide the requisite signatures, attach to it the filing fee, which is $100 for domestic LPs, and send the filing package to this address here. Now, once the I'm just going to skip through these because they're all pretty much the same. During your formation process or after, you might want to apply for an employer identification number if you plan on hiring employees and you're going to be paying withheld taxes on those employees. This is actually mandatory if you plan on doing so. You can review our tutorial here on how to apply for an EIN. You can also skip right to the IRS website by applying online here, or you can apply through the mail with this PDF. Partnership agreement is not legally required, just like an operating agreement or a corporate bylaw isn't legally required. It is a binding contract, an agreement that's drafted amongst all the initial partners of your entity to just relay how the internal affairs are to be managed and organized. Now, to get a better idea of what I mean by that, click on this link here, and you're going to be able to download our free template. If it shows up here, here we go. in Microsoft Word or Adobe PDF, and that'll go through everything that would go in a partnership agreement. And if you want, you can actually use our template free of charge. Finally, you will need to renew each year with the Secretary of State. You can do this online through your Business for West Virginia portal using your account, or you can do it by PDF, and we have all the necessary forms there for you to use. If you do plan on filing it through the mail, you need to send it to this address here, and you need to accompany or a check made out to the West Virginia Secretary of State will need to accompany the form. It should be made out for $25. The only exception to this is foreign LLPs, which, as I said, every other year need to re-register with a $500 filing fee. Also, if you're filing online, you can pay by credit card. But I hope that was helpful. Good luck filing with this online portal. It takes a little bit, but it's absolutely worth it. All right, good luck, guys. What's going on?